안녕하세요. 저는 루마니아의 혜진이에요. Today we're gonna do a reading with me, and I have here two books that I want to read. The first one is Me and Marilyn by Ijimin, and the second one is The Profundis by Oscar Wilde. And I think I'm gonna start with Me and Marilyn because it is a book translated by my university professor Diana Yuksel in Romanian, and I'm gonna read it in Romanian, but I will find my favorite passages and read them to you in English because it is the most accessible to me. And then I'm gonna start the other book, the one by Oscar Wilde, and I'm gonna find my favorite passages from there. And at the end, I'm gonna tell you my impressions about these two books. So I'll get to reading to see what these books are all about, and we'll talk later. Bye bye! The novel Now Marilyn by Ijimin is translated into English as The Starlet and the Spy. It is a novel that was published in 2009 and it became an international bestseller. Wow! The action takes place in 1954 after the armistice was signed and Korea was trying to get back on its feet. The protagonist, Alice, gets to meet the starlet Marilyn Monroe as her translator. The meeting between these two women make Alice face her past and deal with the tragedies in her life. The war changed her life immensely and made her hair grey from despair. We learn only at the end what her loss is and how it affected her. And in the process, we see an interesting love story unfold. These are some of the reasons why I like this novel and why I think you should read it too, if you haven't already. Maybe you could write in the comments below if you liked it or not and why. And now I'm gonna read some of my favorite passages from this novel. Alice J. Kim. People do not like her. Women approach me with suspicion and men walk away, having misunderstood me. Occasionally someone is intrigued, but they are a precious few. Foreigners or those whose kindness is detrimental to their own well-being. People don't approve of me, beginning with my name. Very few know my real name and why I discarded Kim Eson to become Alice. I'm the one person in the world who knows what my middle initial stands for. No matter how awful, keeping secrets is more protective than revealing the truth. Secrets tend to draw out the other person's fear. Without secrets, I would be completely destitute. If there is a truth I've learned over the last few years, is that a woman's strength comes not from age, but from misfortune. I want to be exempted from this truth. I have earned the right to be strong, but now I do not want this strength. A woman becomes lonely the moment she realizes her strength. As loneliness is altogether too banal, for the moment I would like to politely decline. These are some of my favorite quotes from the Profundis. But we who live in prison and in whose lives there is no event but sorrow have to measure time by throbs of pain and the record of bitter moments. We have nothing else to think of. Suffering, curious as it may sound to you, is the means by which we exist, because it is the only means by which we become conscious of existing. Love is fed by the imagination, by which we become wiser than we know, better than we feel, nobler than we are, by which we can see life as a whole, by which and by which alone we can understand others in their real and in their ideal relations. Only what is fine and finally conceived can feed love, but anything will feed hate. Love does not traffic in a marketplace, nor uses a scale. It is a joy like the joy of the intellect. It is to feel itself alive. The aim of love is to love, no more, no less. You came at once to me very sweetly and very simply in your suit of wool, and with your eyes dim with tears. You sought consolation and help as a child might seek it. I opened to you my house, my home, my heart. I made your sorrow mine also, that you might have help in bearing it. They bring us ruin through what in us is good, gentle, humane, loving. But for my pity and affection for you and yours, I would not now be weeping in this terrible place. But for Dear Bosie, after long and fruitless waiting, I have determined to write to you myself, as much for your sake as for mine, as I would not like to think that I had passed through 2 long years of imprisonment without ever having received a single line from you, or any news or message even, except such as give me pain. Our ill-fated and most lamentable friendship has ended in ruin and public infamy for me, yet the memory of our ancient affection is often with me, and the thought that loathing, bitterness, and contempt should ever take that place in my heart once held by love is very sad to me. And you yourself will, I think, feel in your heart that to write to me as I lie in the loneliness of prison life is better than to publish my letters without my permission. That to write
안녕하세요. 저는 책을 다 읽었어요. 너무 좋았어요. 둘 다 슬픈 이야기 있어서 좀 비슷하지만 나와 메릴린에서 메릴린 먼로의 콘서트만 사실이에요. 하지만 데 프로푼디스는 거의 다 진실이에요. 그리고 데 프로푼디스는 감옥에 있을 때 쓴 이야기라서 슬픔과 고통을 책을 읽은 내내 느낄 수 있어요. 주인공은 감옥에 있을 때 편지만 쓸 수 있었어요. 이런 이유 때문에 데 프로푼디스는 편지로 된 소설이에요. 작가가 감옥에서 힘들었지만 책을 썼어요. 제 생각에는 오스카 와일드는 대단한 분이에요. 저는 이 책을 너무 좋아해서 여러분한테도 추천해요. 만약 책을 벌써 읽었으면 여러분의 의견을 알려주세요. 그리고 이런 영상을 다시 보고 싶으면 댓글로 또 알려주세요. 우리한테 우리 채널 루마생글 구독하고 좋아요들을 눌러주시고 우리 영상을 예쁘게 봐주세요. 그럼 감사합니다. 다시 만나요. 안녕.